Big P here. We're joined by Michael, West Brom fan. How are you doing, Michael?
How you doing, Russell? You okay?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Friday tea time. This time last week, mate. I was living it large in Nottingham, having time of my life. Now look at me having to graft away with you.
I know. I've had a right week of it, mate. I've been moving house. I've been
Oh,
ill. I've been in hospital. It's been a nightmare. We tried one of these last week, didn't we? And it was a nightmare.
are you all right now with your Wi-Fi and that?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Sorted now.
Right then, where shall we start?
There's loads gone on, hasn't there?
Do you want to start with December 23rd and what you make of it all? And go on, what do you think?
Yeah. I think it's quite good, to be fair. I mean, obviously, everyone's got different opinions of it. I haven't really saw much of what people are saying, but obviously, we all want Joshua to fight Wilder, don't we? But as a card, it's pretty good, isn't it, really? I mean, I think personally AJ will lose, which is controversial opinion, but I can see him getting beat by that Wallin, to be honest.
Can you?
He's always struggled with southpaws. He was awful against Usyk. He's never been good against southpaws. And I think that Wallin is better than people give him credit for, I do. So I think he might struggle in that one.
Well, he dealt
Um,
the Charlie Martin, didn't he, easily?
yeah, but he's terrible, isn't he? I mean, that's not a
Southpaw
mark.
world champion, if you want to go into history books.
Yeah, but like, come on. I'd beat him, I reckon.
He didn't fancy
So,
Lewis Ortiz, did he?
nah, he avoided him like the plague, didn't
Which
he?
brings me to the point I want to make. Right? Do you remember when Eric Molina fought Anthony Joshua and Eddie
Yeah,
Lewis Ortiz on Bucks, who were WBA interim champion, and Joshua
yeah.
had IBF belt, and he fought Molina, and they put poor Dave Allen in with Ortiz and no belt online. Do you think we're seeing the same thing now, whereas he's fighting Wallin and Parker's having to do dirty work and fight Wilder? Do you think?
I get what you're trying to say. It's like they're basically trying to make like Eddie Earn's trying to put something in the way to get in the way of him fighting Wilder kind of thing. Hoping
Yeah, but
Parker beats him or
but
something.
what you've got to understand is they're now saying the quiet word doing the rounds is that after Usyk Fury, if it happens in Feb, they're going to split the belt, or they're just letting him have it for one fight. So IBF's going to go for a swim. That's going to be Ergovic and Joshua, because they're feeding Ergovic Demori, aren't they? A spoon-fed job next month. So if Joshua's trying to fight Ergovic, he's going to get back in through cat flap, isn't he? Well, it's not even cat flap, is it? It's like under door, isn't it? Like the rat he is.
Yeah. So they're basically making the public think that it's all to build up Wilder v Joshua, but really he's getting the number two spot from Wallin, isn't he? Because Wallin's number two, isn't he? With the
Yeah,
IBA.
exactly. So you're going to see Joshua fighting Ergovic for IBF, and then Joshua's going to be a three-time world champion yet again, but by default, in it. The guy is
Yeah.
manufactured. If they do that, they'll kill him off. I don't know what sort of deals they've got with these big sponsors and that, but he seems desperate to get a belt, doesn't he? He's not bothered about Wilder. If he were bothered about Wilder, they'd have been fighting now, wouldn't they? All this time it's took to get them together. And then they're putting him in with different people. We don't want to see Parker. We've seen him stinking hater. It's a few
Yeah.
years since Otto Wallin cut Fury. That's a few years back. He's not really beat anybody any good since then. Yeah, he's done gas, yeah, but that's it.
The only thing that makes me think that you're right with that is if they were just trying to build Joshua v Wilder up, there's no way Joshua would be fighting Wallin because Wallin's the number two and he's so much of a big risk at the moment for how badly AJ's boxing. There's no way that they'd be like Joshua's fight is harder than Wilder's on the 23rd, isn't it?
Mm.
I think anyway. I don't know what you think, but
Yeah, I think Wallin's an harder fight for Joshua. But Joshua already had beef with Big Baby Miller. Why didn't they put him in with them and finish that little scenario off?
yeah, I think he beats Daniel Dubois. I do as well.
Yeah, he's been pretty fragile, Daniel Dubois. Bricktop's not really bothered about him now, is he? Bit sounds of it, is he?
Because that Gerald Mirror looks like he's got a good chin to me, and he keeps going all night, and that's a nightmare for Daniel Dubois, isn't it? That because he's got no balls, has he? Basically,
What, big 24 Clemmer jumping all over you, throwing 85 punches around?
Yeah, that's what he is, isn't he?
Hmm?
That's a nightmare start for Daniel Dubois. That is. I don't know why Gerald Miller's 4-1, to be honest, but
A nightmare.
whatever.
A nightmare living next door to him in a council block of flats, wasn't it? Having him next door, wasn't it? Gerald Miller.
Selling gear to everyone.
Banging on your door at middle at night. You ain't got an old can laying about, have you, for me? Hey? People coming around looking in your fridge and that. Have you got a cup of sugar? Imagine living next door to him.
He's massive, isn't he?
Nightmare, wouldn't it? Eh?
I know, I know.
But what do you think to Eddie's role in all this? Slurp, slurp.
I don't know. You can't really blame him, can you? The money that must be flying around on this card must be unbelievable, hasn't he? Do you know what I mean? He's never ever sat in a room with Frank Warren in his life. And then all of a sudden this has come up and he's like gone for dinner with him the day before and done all whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Slurping, innit? That's what they do, innit? Listen, the good thing, right, about life is this. Do you know greedy people? You can spot them coming a mile off. They're so greedy. You think Bricktop haven't reeled him in? They'll be laughing their heads off them at that. He's had to go grovelling there. Let me tell you this. His father had done the same thing. His
Oh
dad
yeah.
would have done the same thing. His dad would have done the same thing. Bazza.
There's about 13 promoters on the show, though, isn't there?
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, how they can get them all to work together when you put a few quid in pot.
Yeah. I mean, they all must be getting fortunes, aren't they, really?
Listen, well, I look at it like this: that fighter's going to get well paid, or that promoter's getting paid as well as fighters, because you never get to
I
know
reckon.
you.
I reckon the promoters will be on nearly as much I do this time.
Yeah, of course they will, yeah, because the promoters know that they're gagging for it with what they've been giving footballers, so they've not gone in there half cocked, have they? They wanted to know what money's flying about. I mean, Ern were knee deep in that Newcastle deal, wasn't he? His old man.
I've got no idea.
Well, they tried to buy Newcastle United, didn't they? That Saudi
Who was
lot.
that?
Pardon? Yeah, that was last year, wasn't it? That. Yeah, if you go Google it, it's all online.
Oh, they
They'll,
did. They bought Newcastle.
you what?
They have bought them, haven't they? They own Newcastle, don't they?
Well, I don't know. I don't follow them, do you? I know somebody has, but didn't some of them try and buy it and want his dad trying to be broker? Yeah, let me
I
get
don't know about his dad getting involved in it. I don't know.
on here. I think you got me talking like I'm making shite up here. Let me just have
I
a
don't
look.
know. First
You're
I've
not
heard
exactly
Barry
Mr.
Earn.
Current Affairs, are you, Michael?
Not with Newcastle United and Barry Earn. No.
Barry Newcastle United Saudi takeover. Oh, Eddie Hearn addresses rumours Dad Barry Hearn is involved in Newcastle Saudi takeover. Let's have a look. The Matchroom sport chief is reportedly part of the consortium locked in talks by Newcastle.
Really?
Newcastle. Hang on, let's see what year it is. Oh, it's 2020. End of 2000. Oh, 2003 years ago, isn't it? So
That's a lot,
they'll
that,
have been
really.
sniffing about then, won't they? So they know what money were coming in, earns, won't they? They're not daft. So
Nah,
they'll not just be taking their normal slice of cake off what these fighters are getting. They'll be getting really well paid out there, really.
he wouldn't be working with Frank Warren for nothing, would he?
No. They wanted to see proof of funds. Proof of funds. I don't hear anybody going on about that 70, 30, 60, 40, 50, 50. Everybody's so humble to be out there and thanking his excellence, aren't they? Pop, pop, bang.
All you keep hearing is, oh, His Excellency, His Excellent. In every interview, His Excellency.
Listen, what they're doing, they're kneeling down and they're slurping.
I would as well for that money. I would.
You what? Have some
I'd
respect.
be going and being his cleaner for the money they're being paid. I'd do anything. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but you're all right going out there and dropping a bollock. You might not never get home. What if you stood in a queue like me? I don't like queuing me. What if I'm stood in a
Yeah.
queue out there and it looks like they're taking the time and I'm saying, come on, love, you've got 5 other tills on here. They're all empty. You know, like when you go in Aldi and they've got one till on and there's like queuing to the bottom, right down to meat. You're like, love, what are you doing with all
Yeah,
these other tills? Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing.
yeah, I know what you
When
mean.
they're in Saudi, they'll be like, what about Porky? What happened to him? He's in Saudi dungeons. Well, MTK. Porky's the backer baron in Saudi, ain't Nick? Trying to get a few quid. But okay, let's back up a little bit. Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Parker, what round is he going to visit Button Moon?
Ooh, 5, 4, 5.
4 or 5?
Mm. He used to have a really good chin, Josie Parker, didn't he? But he got knocked about by Joe Joyce, didn't he?
Personally, I think his style were more very safe. His style's a bit like Joshua's now, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know, very safety first and kind of thing, and out of range, and you
I
know,
get that, but I don't know. Joe Joyce absolutely hammered him, didn't he? So I
yeah.
know I can just. Wilder obviously punches a lot harder than Joe Joyce does, doesn't he? And Josie Parker's getting older and older and older. And once your chin's been broken, we saw with Joe Joyce, didn't we? It ain't the same ever again. He was all around the ring when he by Joe Joyce, and we saw what Zhang did to him the second time. So I can see Wilder. Well, Wilder definitely knocks him out, but I don't think he gets past halfway in the fight. In my opinion.
Don't you?
What do you think?
I think Wilder does him in one round and sends a message. Wilder's one of them. You don't get paid overtime, do you? Everybody he's fought, he's dropped, hasn't he? Everybody.
Yeah. He's knocked every man he's ever fought out because I think he knocked Tyson Fury out. He woke up, but he knocked him out, didn't he? Bloody hell. His eyes were gone. He looked dead.
Would Fury do Wilder now?
It's hard to say after that Ngannou. I think everyone's going way over the top on that Ngannou fight, I do.
Do you?
He obviously mistreated him, didn't think he was any good, underestimated him, barely trained. He looked heavy. He was like a stone heavier than his prime weight, wasn't he? I think everyone's overreacting to that order. I still think Usyk beats him though.
Do you think if Tyson Fury were having cheat nights in camp and going out for a cheeky one every 7 days, saying, "Yeah, well, it's only an MMA fighter, I'll do him easily." Do you think if he were having them nights and going out and just taking it easy and all that and cutting corners, do you think he's going to come on his social media and do interviews and stuff and say, "Yeah, I've been cutting corners and that," or do you think he's going to say, "Stronger, faster than a speeding bullet, 12-week camp"? He's not going to admit it, Michael, is he?
No, he wouldn't admit it because obviously, if he comes out and says, "Oh, I was cheating, I missed corners, I was not bothered, I thought Ngannou was rubbish," all of this kind of stuff. If he does that, it's obvious then. Like he wants Usyk to start thinking that he's finished now, doesn't he? And he's got old overnight, and his legs have gone, and this and that, and so that Usyk doesn't. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Usyk thinks he can win easier than what he probably will, but I don't know. I think it'll be a good fight. I do. Because Fury's not as good of a boxer as Usyk, is he? I don't think anybody is, to be honest. The only thing Fury's got really is the size, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's got size. He's not 6'9". He's about 6'7", Fury, and he's 6'7.5" or something.
Yeah. Did you see that face off the other day with Usyk and Fury when they were giving it large to each other?
Yeah.
He didn't look that much bigger than him, did he? I
Oh,
thought there'd be a bigger size gap than that. I don't know whether Usyk had big shoes on or I don't know, but there wasn't that much of a gap between them.
does Usyk look like he's even bothered about anything Fury says? His mindset, does it look like he's bothered at all?
He's never bothered about anything. I've said to you in the videos before, he's a bit of a madman, isn't he, to be fair? He's like, do you know what I mean? He's like,
He's like a
I don't
Fury.
know, I love him, I do. I think he's great.
Well, he's like Fury, isn't he? Do you think Fury might have met his match in mindset?
Yeah,
Do you think?
like mind games and that.
Well, it looked to me like, Fury were giving it effing and blinding and being vulgar and all that, and it was all a bit vulgar.
Yeah.
It looked embarrassing, really, didn't it? But he never did that with Dillian Whyte, did he, or Chisora?
Nah. He knows he's in a fight. He knows he's in a real fight. He does. Do you know what else makes me laugh about Usyk? that I've clocked on. Do you know, like, some interviews he talks a bit of English and some interviews he doesn't, and he's a translator. I think he knows more English than what he lets on as well, but he
Yeah,
pretends he doesn't to act like he's not phased or bothered. I think he's clever, I do, Usyk. I think he like will sometimes have a translator when he doesn't want to say certain things, and then sometimes he'll speak a bit of English when he wants to say a certain bit. I think he plays good mind games. The best two in the division with the mind games are them two that are fighting each other. They're the best two fighters, they're the best two mind games, they're the best two characters. Everything all in one fight, isn't it really? I can't wait for that fight.
yeah,
But I do think Usyk wins
yeah.
if it's done fairly, yeah.
What do you think to that Far getting on card?
He's rubbish. Well, I don't know what you think about him, but I think he's terrible. I do. He looks like he's fighting on the pub car park to me, to be honest.
What
He's
about
fighting that Frank Sanchez, isn't he?
yeah? What about him? Maslenbach or something. I forgot for him. He's fighting a good one, isn't
Who,
he?
that Mac, who?
He's
Mac
18
Medov.
Mark Mudoff or something.
Yeah.
I forgot who
Him
he
from Russia against Caballero. Abjit
Caballero, yeah.
Caballero.
He's undefeated.
Until 23rd of December, yeah?
He's
You
a
wouldn't fancy seeing him down a dark alleyway, would you, that Russian guy?
quick
Bloody
beer.
hell. Have you seen him?
Seen how big
Yeah.
his head's? They reckon his head's the longest head in boxing. You know,
Hey, I wouldn't want to see him down a dark alley.
he's
If
got
he
like a
said
rectangle head, hasn't he?
If he said, "Give me your phone and your keys," you'd give him your phone and your keys, wouldn't you?
He's got
Bloody hell!
he's got 2 square foot ahead on a big shoulders. Plus, he's got a big beard. God knows what's inside that beard. Could be metal or oak, couldn't there? He looks like Frankenstein, doesn't he? Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
You think?
Well, on that fight, them two, he's tough as anything. He's that Russian guy, isn't he? And that Caballero's a good boxer, isn't he? But I just think that Russian will be a bit tough for him, really. I think he punches hard. I can't see that Caballero knocking him out because that Caballero's not really a big puncher. And I just think that Russian will just take whatever Caballero throws at him and let it bounce off his massive head and chin him
Do you think
in
that
about 5.
Dillian Whyte, the can man, anybody who wants it can get it? Do you think he'll be at home now eating
Kicking himself,
beef jerky with his dogs, kicking
saying
himself?
he's going to win a real title? Have
Saying
you heard him when he goes, "I'm going to win a real title"?
Fury pushed him over. Saying
Yeah.
Fury pushed him over.
But he'll be upset with himself, won't he, now? Because whatever drugs he's taken's cost him probably, what, 4 million, maybe something like that for the AJ fight.
Oh,
Plus, he would have been on this card, I would have thought, wouldn't he? So
yeah.
he's
Oh,
he's
right.
probably cost himself 10 mil.
Hey,
He's probably cost himself 10 million taking whatever drugs he was on, hadn't he?
Antrest. I think it's a
That's
shame.
what I don't get about that.
Well,
When you get to that level, like the very, very top level, is it really worth taking the drugs like that? Because if that was me, one, I wouldn't want to do it anyway. But two, like, even if you lose, you're still going to get that much money. Does it really make a difference at that point? Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So what do the drugs count for? All they do is cost you from getting the payday. I'd rather get knocked out and lose on my record and get paid 5 million quid than have some drugs and get no fight and not lose. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Why cheat? If you
Carl
go,
Frampton was on about that the other day. He's a very good boxing analyst, I think, Carl Frampton. Like,
yeah,
really good. I really rate what he says. And he comes across like he's trying to tell the truth. And you know what I mean? And there's so many yes men in boxing and that these days. I think Carl Frampton and Carl Froch are the best, most honest, open broadcasters. And Carl Frampton said that the other day. He said Gerald Miller, he wasted about 6 million quid. I think he was going to get to fight Anthony Joshua. And all the stuff he was on was so bad.
yeah,
He should never box again.
digging it, wasn't
Yeah, he was bad when he was like bloody injecting all sorts, wasn't he? So
he? Miller Warrior. The Gypsy King, he's saying that he's gonna knock Usyk out and he's undisputed then. Well,
I think his game plan's got to be pretty much to
knock him
treat
out.
Usyk the same way that he treated that Steve Cunningham. Just
Reg
walk it because
Dolan,
he's
bully him.
yeah. He just walked him down, leant on him, didn't he? That Cunningham dropped him, didn't he? He walked him down, leant on him.
He mauled Cunningham, didn't he? Mauled him, didn't he?
Yeah. Tied him out, leaned all over him, punched him, used his arms, used his shoulders, drained him, and then chinned him, didn't he? I think that's pretty much got to be what Fury's game plan is.
You think
And
Usyk will
Usyk's
go
has got to
after
be.
him? You think Usyk will go after him if Fury goes after him? Do you think
I don't
Usyk
know,
will have
really.
that in his arsenal? He must realise that Fury might go after him. He must have a plan for it. Surely, because he didn't Lomachenko's daddy's trainer.
Yeah, but Usyk's footwork's like the best in boxing, isn't he? I think.
I think his footwork's sublime, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got the best in boxing. Even any weight, I think he's got the best footwork in boxing. And some of the cruiserweights he beat, like they're underrated. That's why I think this Wallin's got a chance. I know we keep moving off subject and that, but
Yeah.
do you know, like that when Usyk cleaned up the cruiserweight division, there was all these killers in that division where you weren't getting paid a lot of money because nobody knew who they were. But if you're a real massive boxing fan, you knew there was that Maris Bradis, there was that
Yeah.
Gavodzic, Gassiev. There was loads of them in that
Michael
division.
Hunter, the Michael Hunter in there.
Yeah, the bounty hunter. Yeah, so there's all these people in the cruiserweight division, and he
All
cleaned that division up.
undefeated
Yeah,
Olympians
they're all
as
like
well, weren't they? All
16,
world
17 and
champions, some
0.
of them, weren't they?
Yeah, 16, 17 and 0, massive knockout punches and everything. And he cleaned the whole division up, got every belt in about 13, 14 fights. And the thing is, he was getting loads of money. No, not loads of money. He was getting not enough money against dangerous fights. So he's not really a heavyweight, is he? Like he could fight at bridgerweight, he could still fight at cruiserweight, but he went up to heavyweight to get the money. Really, that's what he's doing, isn't he? He's
Well, he's
fighting
done
out of his
Joshua
weight class.
twice, hasn't he?
But that should if he wasn't so good, that should never be able to happen because of the size difference. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
So
Holyfield
his
went up though,
footwork
didn't
must
he?
be good.
Holyfield went up though, didn't he, and did well.
Yeah, but he's exceptional as well, and he's one in a
Usyk
million.
is in, they're both exceptional, aren't they? You can't split them, can you, really?
Yeah. So
Peak.
that's why he's so
Imagine
good.
them
But
going
that
at it, Michael, at the peaks. Oh,
that fight, yeah.
Holyfield and Usyk. Oh,
Who would win?
I don't know, because when Holyfield were at 130 odd and 0 at one point, Holyfield, he was, wasn't
Yeah, Usyk's only had 20 fights, hasn't he? But he's fought
he?
class
21
people, hasn't
fights, hasn't he? Yeah, but he's like, Usyk skipped all them first 15, them first 15 that you get spoon fed. He skipped all them
he?
and
Yeah.
jumped straight in, anyway, hard fights more or less in his career, hasn't he?
That'd be interesting to see, wouldn't it? The record of the boxer that Usyk fought in his like eighth fight compared to the record of the boxer that Holyfield fought in his 20th.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Here's
I
a
didn't really,
go on, sorry.
I'm not really old enough to have seen that much of Holyfield, but I've saw old fights of him and stuff. And but I think that Usyk's good. But that's one of the reasons why I give Otto Wallin such a good chance against Joshua. Because
Yeah,
that Gassiev and that he was a killer in the cruiserweight division, wasn't he? And Wallin's just beat him. And we all know Joshua's confidence is totally on the floor at the moment. So that Wallin's not a mug, is he? He went to Russia and beat him as well.
he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, I thought he beat him in Turkey, didn't he? Did he fight? Did he
Wallin,
fight that Gassiev in Turkey?
Russia? I thought it was Russia. I
Oh,
don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there.
is Russia? Is their flag with like a star?
That's Turkey, that is.
Oh, I could have sworn they fought in Turkey.
Maybe he did then.
Either way, he's done well to beat him, and it shouldn't have been a split decision. He won comfortably, didn't he? So he's
Yeah,
done
with
a
at
right
least
job,
4 rounds.
Joshua. Eh?
He was in Turkey. You are right. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But Turkey's more. Well, it's not. It's not exactly Wallin's home country, is it? Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
he scored. Well, he won by at least 4 rounds, in my opinion. To be honest, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, he's in with it's a 50-50, isn't it, for Joshua, this?
Like, would you definitely now, before the Wallin fight, would you have definitely 100? If you were a real boxing fan and you'd watched all these cruiserweight fights and how bad Joshua's been for the last 3, maybe 4 fights,
Yeah.
would you say for certain that Joshua would knock that Gassiev out until Wallin beat him?
No. I just said Joshua had been in a 50-50 with Gassiev. Like the 50,
That's what I'm saying.
and he's just schooled him, Wallin.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
If you back Anthony Joshua in this fight at 2-7, your best chance is the fact that really Wallin's got to win by 6 rounds. I need to win. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not going to get no decisions, is he?
He ain't going to get a favour, is he? He's 3 rounds down before they even start the first bell, isn't
Yeah, against Joshua, yeah, because they need
he?
Joshua
Yeah.
commercial, don't they, over there?
But if it's a
Got to
fair
knock him
fight,
out,
like,
really, got to stop him.
yeah, he's got to stop him, really. But that's the thing. He's not a massive puncher, is he, that Wallin? But
No.
Joshua's got no chin, really, has he? So, I don't know. I highly fancy Wallin to win if it was a fair crack of the whip. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you think to that?
I definitely can't see Joshua knocking him out either,
Can't you?
because he seems tough, that Wallin, to me.
Yeah, he does. What do you think to that Aussie? The Aussie kid they're all raving about.
Jay Opataya,
He's got some skills, him, hasn't
he's good, isn't he? They offered
Not
that
wasted
Maris Bradis that fight, didn't they?
he? Hey?
They offered Maris Bradis that fight on the 23rd, didn't they? And he turned it down.
Yeah. His skills are sublime. He don't waste any punches. Every punch he throws connects, doesn't it? He's a proper.
And he can punch
Yeah, he can punch as well. I wonder if he'll step up.
from cruiser to heavyweight.
I think he's big enough. He don't look big enough, does he?
He doesn't look massive, does he? To be fair,
Yeah.
he don't. But I don't even think he looks as big as Usyk, does he?
No. What do you think to
No.
Horsecock getting an MBE?
To who? Sorry,
Horsecock's got an MBE, hasn't he?
has he?
Yeah. Yeah.
What for?
But well, Horsecock. So we're going to say to you, does anybody know out there any British boxers other than these 5 who've got 10 world title wins minimum? Carl Froch, Lennox Lewis, and then you've got Naz, Calzaghe, and Johnny Nelson. They're other ones. Now all of them are in Hall of Fame and all had MBEs, although Naz got his tuck off him, didn't he? Johnny's just got his MBE. It's looking like he'll be ready for Hall of Fame soon. Him. It might not be next year, but he'll be in mix.
He lost his first couple of fights as well, didn't he?
Shows you if you get your head down and you listen, you can turn it round. He's a product.
How many world title wins did Herbie? How many world title wins did Herbie Hyde have?
He didn't have 10.
He had a fair few though, didn't he?
He had a couple, didn't he? That was it. He ain't got 10.
He won the heavyweight title.
If there's any who've got 10 or above, porkycorner@mail.com or just leave a comment. But I'm hearing there's only them 5. Unless that's post-war. I don't know, but it's an interesting one. I wonder if Kent knows. Pop, pop, bang! Kent will have books out now, won't he? Kent will be online researching. He'll not be able to sleep tonight, the lad. Bless him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joshua, he's got to do something, mate. He's got to do something.
Well,
got to get his spin. I think his head's gone, you know. Looking
that's
at
what I'm saying.
Really strange. I mean, this is how I look at it, right? He's had it all his own way, all his career. Every press conference, they're all these questions. It looks to me like it's all structured stuff that he's programmed for. All these little pet interviewers interviewing him all the time. All of a sudden, that B-side and somebody else is going to be asking questions, and he should be ashamed of himself what he did to that Dev sandwich, shouldn't he?
Yeah, he's just under pressure at the moment, and he knows. I think he knows deep down. He's doing so much stuff, and he went and locked himself in that dark room, didn't he? He's been doing a few weird interviews.
His head's gone. When he wakes up at night, all he sees is in his nightmares. It's the big GK mopping up all the reddies. That's what's happened, and they're still nowhere nearer to fighting now than they ever were, have they? He's tied in with Usyk for 2 fights and that Ngannou rematch. So that's Fury all next year and maybe into year after, isn't it? It's tied up with
Fury's tied up now till summer 25, isn't it?
That's why IBF will be freed up after first fight. Listen, Fury's tied up. Joshua's nowhere near a Fury now than he will be in another 3 years. Right? They'll be old men then. What they're going to do? I expect everybody to cough up for it. when they come running
They'll be,
back. When they come running back to do it at Wembley in about 5 years.
nah, it'll be next Christmas.
Eh?
Next Christmas.
Well, we're
Anthony
saying
Joshua
this
v. John.
2 Christmases ago, Mikey.
Anthony Joshua v. John Fury.
It might be Mike Tyson and John Fury headline act this time next year in
Oh,
Saudi on the soft sand.
John Fury. Yeah, but AJ, I've never been a big AJ fan anyway, to be fair. Like, I don't think his record's as good as what they're saying, to be honest. Like, he fought Klitschko at 42, and there's no other, like, A level, like a proper top level win. He ain't got one.
Yeah, I ain't got one, mate. Spoon
So
fed.
that's why, if he beats Wallin, I'll be impressed, really. But do you know
I
what's
will.
really funny? 18 months ago, Eddie Hearn was like absolutely slating Tyson Fury for fighting Wallin.
I know. It will
And
it
oh, he's
was
got
that, wasn't it?
Otto Wallin. There's an
Well,
interview and he goes, Otto Wallin, like that. And now he's going, oh, he's fighting Wallin like as if he's good. He's got, I think he is, he's improved, he's got better. He had a good fight with Fury, he's beat Gassiev, he's done whatever, but he needs to be careful because if Wallin's as good as what they're making out now, he ain't going to beat him, is he? Because he's finished, AJ is.
well, Otto Wallin, he fought Tyson Fury 4 years ago. 4 years and 2 months ago.
I mean, really,
That's a
on
long
another
time,
day,
isn't it? Yeah, and Eddie was saying he were crap then, Wallin.
yeah, but on another day, Otto Wallin could be undefeated because if he'd have had a different referee in that Fury fight, he'd have stopped it, wouldn't he, for that cut?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then Otto Wallin's undefeated then, heavyweight champ of the world, and
Well, he's gone 6-0 since then, and he's just took Gassiev's scalp, which is a good scalp, isn't it?
yeah. It's a real fight, that is, that'll be a good fight, that will. I texted my mate the other day. He's a good boxing fan and that, and I said to him, Wallin beats Joshua. He disagrees with me, but we'll have a pint on it on the night, I suppose, and we'll see who wins.
Well, Otto Wallin is no mug, is he? And if he might drop AJ. He might drop him.
You reckon?
Telling you, he might drop AJ him on night. AJ might have to come through some tough stuff, some tough moments.
That's my only concern, really, with the Otto Wallin thing is I just don't think he's a big enough puncher. Like, obviously, what I've just said to you, AJ's 3 rounds up before they even start. And I just don't see that Wallin's like a big banger. Do you know what I mean? Like, if AJ was fighting Zhang now, I'd be massive on Zhang to win. But I just don't. Like, when's the last time Otto Wallin knocked anybody out? 2020.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? He knocked that Travis Kaufman out in 2020. And to me, it's just like, if you get box against AJ in Saudi when they're trying to tee up big fights, whether it's Hergovich, what you're saying, or whether it's Wilder or whatever it is, you've got to really be winning by stoppage, aren't you? Well, even if Otto Wallin wins at 8-4, is he going to get the decision? Maybe not. He's 26-1, 14 knockouts, hasn't stopped anybody for 3 years, coming up to 4 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's going to be interesting, isn't it, to see what happens with that.
Yeah, and I mean a couple of the wins. He fought Tyson Fury on September 2019. He's had a couple of wins since then. Like he's beat that Travis Kaufman by knockout. Then he fought Dominic Brazil, beat him only on points, and he's useless, isn't he? That Dominic Brazil.
Big stiff.
He beat Kamil Sokolovsky by points, Rydell Brooker by points, some bloke I've never heard of by points, and then he had a real good win against Gassiev. So, but again by points. That's 5 points wins in a row. That is over 3 years. 3 of them total bums as well.
Would you have liked to have seen It's Big Freeze in the mix?
Nah. He's nowhere near, in my opinion. Obviously, we're probably a bit out of date to have this, but I've been like AWOL for over a month, and Russell. But I think that Fabio Wardley win against David David Adelaide, I think that's shown me that Fabio Wardley would easily deal with the big freeze. Easily. I think so.
Big Freezer's 8-0. He needs to get a move on, doesn't he? I see him leaving Sky and going to Eddie Hills, the ice.
He's not. Do you know? I don't even think Eddie would bother with him.
Don't
I,
they?
I'm not. I really don't rate him at all. Like I know he had a really extensive amateur career and all that, but he's over 30 already, and he's about 32, isn't he? Is he 32?
Yeah, he's 32.
Yeah, and I think he's overrated massively in the pro game. He did well as an amateur, obviously, like I've just said, but in the pro game, I don't think he's going anywhere at all. He'll be nowhere near a world title ever.
He
That's
could
my opinion.
always make a living as a Fat Joe lookalike, couldn't
He does, doesn't he? He looks like him.
he?
But nah, I think Fabio Wardley would absolutely bang him out.
Do you?
Yeah,
He seems to be like a sponge, absorbing lots of boxing talk. Every time I see him on microphone, he's like absorbing everything, and he talks a good game, doesn't he? That Fabio Wardley, he could be the what's the word? The dark
the
horse
dark
to
horse.
win everything. Yeah, he could be the one.
You might laugh at this comment now, but we haven't spoken for a bit. But when he beat that David Adelaide, I text my mate saying I think Fabio Wardley's got a potential, maybe if things land right for him. And I mean, they've got to land right for him. He's not going to go and beat Tyson Fury, is he? He's not going to go and beat a good champion. But if things land right for him and the belts got dispersed and you've got Fury who's 34, 35, you've got Usyk who's 35, AJ's getting to the end now. If things land right for him and he had like like a Charles Martin type of job, I think he could win a world title.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was
Well,
really good against David Adelaide. Oh, dude.
well, Joshua won one, didn't he? I mean, come on.
That's what I mean.
And then
Well,
then learning on job.
you put Fabio Wardley in the same fight that you put Anthony Joshua in against Charles Martin, he wins. Do you know what I mean?
Charlie Martin might do big meets now.
Nah, he ain't gone that far backwards. He's gone backwards, but not that much.
He's frightened to pull trigger, man. Joshua, what are you on about, Mikey? Pop, pop, bang.
Yeah.
You AJ fan, you aren't you?
You know I'm not, but bloody hell. You gotta be
Are you
realistic
telling
here.
me Joshua's lets his hands go? Listen, do you know the last four people out his 10 fights, so he's stopped? Robert Elenius, who was a bag of shit. And
Yeah.
three were Pulev Povetkin and what other one? I forget. He's stopping old men. Stopping old men.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm not a Joshua fan at all, am I? You know that. And I know for sure he doesn't let his hands go, but he'd still beat Charles Martin. Come on, he's absolutely embarrassing. He's
Well, Charlie Martin, I'm saying Joshua's gone down that far. It could be a closer fight. You never know. He's no mug now, Charlie Martin. He's a British level, you'd say, wouldn't you? Charlie Martin, yeah? British
you
level,
reckon?
yeah? Maybe. Well, what level's Joshua now? Joshua's not world level, is he?
Yeah, I get what I know he's not world level. I'd say right now Joshua's like
European.
European, yeah, and Charles Martin's dog shit. So I don't know about that.
Well,
Hasn't he just lost to that Jared Anderson on points?
yeah, I thought he didn't disgrace himself.
Yeah, I guess. That Jared Anderson's massively overrated, and he was like crying at the end of the fight, wasn't
He will do because he had some fist.
he?
He had some fist. Joshua, last people he's knocked out is Robert Elenius, Pulev, and Alexander Povetkin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. His last 9.
Yeah.
They're the three. Pulev, Povetkin, and Elenius aren't his last 9. Eh? Big punching, big meat. Do me a favour. Let's go on to part 2, our kid.